Yo, paranormal peeps, love and light to you all. This video is about meditation. Now, I love meditation. I loved it from the first moment I ever did it, and it is just an incredible development tool, and I'll explain why through this video. I love it for many reasons, but hopefully I'm going to try and explain things. Now, I'm going to put things in this video that might cause triggers, okay? I'll explain why, but I just want to make you aware of this before we go any further. Right, first point, you need to ask yourself why you want to meditate and what you want to get out of it. Okay, that's so important, right? Because like I said, I love meditation, but you need to understand what you want to get out of it. What are you meditating for? Okay, so the first thing we'll look into is visualization. Now, a lot of people tell me they struggle to see anything. They struggle to visualize, they struggle to relax, and they struggle to calm. And they say they can't see, especially with a guided meditation, they can't see what the person that is doing the meditation is telling them to do. So, and I'll show you a little trick, which I love. I'll show you a little trick, which I've learned over the years, okay? So before we go anywhere, I want you to do this little exercise with me. I want you to visualize a red toaster. Okay, I pick red because it's just the most visually bright color to picture. Okay, so picture this toaster in your mind. Okay, just relax and try and see the toaster. I want you to look at it. See it in your mind's eye. You can close your eyes and see if you can see one at the darkness of the back of your eyelids, because that's the two places where I always say you can see the images that your subconscious and spirit will show you. So, have you got the toaster? Can you see it? I want it to pop like a toaster, like the pop-up toasters. Pop it. Now, the majority of you will probably see toast come out of the toaster. Some of you might just see bread, which is kind of weird, right? Some of you might see an envelope or something completely different pop out of the toaster. Now, that is more of a development thing, but some of you might say that you don't see any toast at all. You don't see nothing pop out of the toaster. Well, I'm going to blow your minds a minute. To not see anything, you'd have to be able to visualize what toast doesn't look like to not see it. Right? So you are visualizing. Now, it's a good simple exercise to help you just perceive. Okay? Now, there's a lot of expectation that comes with meditation, and you need to put all that away, right? You need to put the expectation. It's not going to be like the movie Doctor Strange, where you're traveling down wormholes and you're seeing yourself morph into other beings and there's all sorts of weird messages. That comes with progression. That comes with practice from meditation. Okay? So, and I'm telling you this because of the benefits, right? Because one of the things I discovered, I was injured in work, and I had to go to go and see a mental health doctor. And all the tools I've ever used in developing and learning about spirituality, I already knew. The doctor was just telling me stuff that I'd already done. In fact, the doctor was asking me questions, which I found quite something. You know, and there was an openness there and a genuine love, and I could feel it, and it was quite surprising. But as we go forward, I'll explain. Okay? Now, things that can happen when you meditate. Now, this isn't going to be a life-changing experience where on the first meditation, all the wonders of the universe and all the information you've ever looked for and all the answers to your problems are going to just come flooding into your mind. Okay? That will happen, and that can happen, but that's a little bit further down the road. And like I said with the visualization, what if it's spirit? What if you meditate 5 times and you see nothing? What if that is spirit trying to teach you about patience? Okay, because this isn't a quick fix, and you've got all these videos on YouTube about quick fixes about this and how to release that and how to be more, be more confident, and how to release this negative energy and how to do that. And some of them, they work for people, but I don't find them based really in the real, right? Meditation isn't going to change your bills. It isn't going to make you abundant. It isn't going to do all these things, right? I've never been rich. I don't have fancy things. I've never been abundant when it comes to materialistic things. What I do have an abundance of is love. And I've had the privilege of being part of something that is incredible. And I have got to the point with meditation where I have stood before the Creator, if you like, and I felt unconditional love that you can't. There's not much you can't sum it up. You can't put it into words. And I get to talk to you good people, and it's afforded me the life that I've got more out of than I could have with money. I've got more out of it for my soul and for my mind. And that's, what more can you ask for, really? And that does come from progressing through meditation and taking that chance. Because my teacher used to say, it's not when you talk to God, it's when God talks to you. But, like I said, and this is the part where I think it's going to be a bit of a trigger, it's going to give you the opportunity to ask some really deep questions. Now, you're not going to like what I'm going to say next, so if you want to skip this bit, I suggest you do, because I am going to say something that's quite triggering, and I'll explain why. Can you imagine, I know doesn't class for people who are vegan or vegetarians, can you imagine if tomorrow, all of a sudden, all the animals that we consume on this planet, all of a sudden, had a voice? And yes, they're sentient, but I mean had a sentient voice, could articulate themselves and explain their feelings and communicate, and we could understand them. Would we still consume the meat? And as I know that's a pretty bad question, and there's lots to it. There's lots of layers. You've got to think of, what does that mean for your pets? Because they eat meat. What does that mean for your children? Because they love chicken nuggets and whatnot. And, you're going to be left with a scenario where, animals will be calling for their loved ones, and they're going to be asking you and begging you not to eat them. Does it make a difference if they speak a language that you don't understand? Now, the reason I'm giving you this trigger is because there's a part of us, which is the ego, which is the bit that is governed by depression and anxiety. And the ego, which is a self-preservation device, doesn't like that question, because it doesn't like the answer. Our conscious, ourselves don't like the answer. We shun away from it, because we don't know how it makes us feel. Now, some might not even bat an eyelid at that question. They'd be just like, well, I'd eat them anyway. But the higher self, the spiritual self, the real self that we can connect to and we can be part of, knows the answer to that question, doesn't have a problem with it. Unlike anxiety, which is, pure exhaustion and terror, and depression, where you will tell yourself all your faults, and, If you think about it, if you had a friend who was going through depression and they are completely running themselves to the ground over a situation they had no control of, it's easy for us to say, why are you doing that? Right? That's a given. It's easy to say it. And then when it comes to the self, it's harder to put it in action. So, but meditation is not listening to yourself, it's having a conversation with yourself. It gives you the opportunity to understand them questions, understand anxiety, understand depression, because you're telling yourself to stop beating yourself up. And when it comes to anxiety, it's having a look at what the question really means. Why does it bombard us with the neg? And why does it bombard us with fear and hold us back? Right? It's a self-preservation thing. The ego is a massive part of us. And with meditation, the beauty and the love that comes with meditation is that you can hold that space and you can have that conversation and you can understand the question in its entirety. And your higher self has no problem with that question. Doesn't fear it. Doesn't fear anything. Pure love, which is your higher self, is pure love. It is the love. You can't put love, and you can't really, like, I'll tell you something, this is another trigger. People can show us love and they can tell us they love us, but you're still taking it on faith. You don't really know what's going on in their mind. And if you can't truly love yourself, then how can you love others? If you can't perceive what it is to love yourself, then you can't perceive what it is to love fully. And this is why, another reason why meditation is important, because you can see inside yourself. It's taking that time to look within, and it's like a reassurance. And spirit, if you get to the point where spirit converse with you, they will open up that question, like the one I just said, which was the trigger. They will pose that question, but they will do it in a loving way, but they want you to get to that question. They want you to know that you are safe and that you are loved and you are protected. And those questions are only bad when it comes to the ego. Okay? Like I said, the ego is an entity of its own right, and it's the thing that causes most of our problems. And it's not going to, like I said, take away all the problems you have. Okay? And you see all these gurus. And the reason I say that is because you have all these people telling you all these wonderful things, how to get rid of this, how to deal with that, and they say, you must watch this video, this is going to change your life. Well, if you were, say, writing a letter or a CV, right, and you were having a completely crap day, and you were feeling so low and neg, and you wrote the CV for a job, and then you were feeling at the best day ever, you were feeling positive and confident and amazing, and you wrote the CV, then you could see that in the writing. Okay, you would see the difference. Even if you laid the paper down and you put your hands on top of them, you would feel the different energies that are placed in that paper. It'd be quite something. And this is something, a technique you will learn as you progress, as you move forward. But if you've asked yourself why, and you've been honest, and you've listened to what I've said just now, and you really understand why you want to meditate, and you go on a meditation, and a guided one, it's going to pull up a lot. All right, it's a funny old rabbit hole, right? Spirituality, and with all the upsides, and there is incredible upsides, and it is one of the most beneficial things you will ever experience. And I believe one day they'll do it in schools, and it'll just be common knowledge and common base. it is going to ask you them questions. It's going to make you look a lot at you. But that is important to move forward, to progress. And I'm not talking about the 5D progression where we all have superpowers and all that malarkey. I'm on about just knowing who you are, your center, and what is your potential. And that's important. That is an important thing to have, to take that step. And it is a big step. And this is the reason why, because I believe the warning should come before the instructions. And, as much as I love the meditation, and much as I love doing this, and I love every aspect of telling you what to experience and what you're going to go through, there is going to be things that you're going to go, I never thought of that. And as you might see in the news with conspiracy theorists, and these guys are messing the world up because they're not listening to the alternative or the mainstream. It's not. It's like questions that I'm trying to think of one randomly. For example, why is all of a sudden breastfeeding become a taboo in the world? Why, now it's starting to come a bit more, but what happened? What was the cause of that? When we know for a fact there is many health benefits to it. Was it companies trying to sell formulas and milk? Was it the food industry? Was it the big pharma? What was it? What made it a taboo? Was it social conditioning? And it's, that seems kind of a strange question, but that's what it does. It makes you think about the things that you probably would never normally think about. Like, which I've said in other videos, like the chocolate bar. You can just take it for granted. Through meditation, through connecting with the higher self, that will be brought into question. So I'm going to do a meditation. So it's going to be a short one, a little guided one. Just to get you to understand it, and just to get you to that point. Now, if you don't visualize anything, if you get stuck, if you have a problem, just drop us a message. But if you just relax and breathe and follow the meditation as I take you through it, you should be fine, guys. Right? There is quite advanced meditations. There's some beautiful meditations on YouTube. Beautiful. I've done quite a few of them. Because I've done my own little circles and different things. And for everything we go through in life, as much as I just did the triggers and said what I said, there is so many benefits to this. And when you get to the point, and I don't want to give you too many spoilers, because it's individualistic. I can't tell you what it's going to be like when you converse with spirit. I can't tell you what spirit are going to do, how they're going to come into your meditation, what they're going to do. But what will happen as you move forward, you will understand the reasons why they show you what they show you, they give you what they give. And it's to get you to a place where they believe, because they love you, that you can be. They believe it, they know it, they know your potential. Beyond your, it's beyond your ego, because they are devoid of ego. They've gone past that point. If they're in spirit, the ego is someone else. The pure them, the spiritual them, the truth and the love of them is what is conversing with you, is what is speaking to you, is what is showing you things. So it does help. You just got to relax, be open-minded, and they'll give you things to think about, and you will be surprised. And it can be quite moving, quite emotional, but it is amazing. If you have any questions and you want to know something, drop us a message. Contact us. You can message on this video. You can follow us, all the descriptions for our different social medias on YouTube. Share, like, subscribe, and love and light, para peeps. I will see you in the next video.